Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. I am talking through my intro because this video gets right into it. I didn't realize that I didn't hit record when I started laying the acrylic on the first nail. So this is my client Kendra. The last few Watch Me Works on my channel have been of her, so we're going to get right into it here. So I had taken off that pink hollow, the glow-in-the-dark pink hollow set, and today she wanted black and red with some marble, some chrome glitter, and this was so hard to do. When I'm doing the filing at the very end, you guys are going to see how, because I'm zoomed in here, you guys are going to see how very small her nail beds are and how really short these actually are. Because I've said it before that it's just difficult. It's very difficult to do this shape, this length, and on her nail beds. It's really difficult to do Kendra's nails. It takes a long time. Every time I take the file along the sidewall, I'm taking the acrylic off because they're so small. I have to go really thin. She doesn't like an apex, so it's just very difficult, and especially when she wants dark colors. This set's going to be black and red, like the most vibrant red you can get, bright true red. So anytime you're working with really dark pigmented colors, it's easy to get them on the skin. It's easy to not be able to get them up into the cuticle correctly without getting it on the skin. The other thing that was going on here, and I'm not making excuses, I mean, I know how to apply acrylic, but I wanted to post this video to show you guys that it's not always easy, it's not always perfect. I have sets on my channel where, you know, the conditions have been right. I think I even mentioned it in one of my videos, like when you have everything together, like your liquid to powder ratio, the temperature's right, the length and shape, you're proficient at doing, and boom, 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 you can get a nail set done, and it's just easy. It's just a glorious feeling. And then sometimes you have sets like this where literally nothing goes right. Every bead you lay down either dries too quick, or it's too wet, or it gets on the skin, or it doesn't cover where you want it to, and then you have to lay more, and then the nail gets bulky. And just all of that was happening here. On my marble, she wanted them more black with just a little bit of red. Well, those are both super pigmented colors, so if you don't put quite a bit of red, it's not going to show up at all. And it wasn't until the last nail that I learned to just lay red down all the way wet and then feather in some black. My nail room was hot. I don't know if you guys know or not, but I'm in Arizona. It was probably 115 at this day, and even with the AC on and have it cranked down to 71, my nail room never got cooler than 80. So as we go here, you'll see that the beads are just drying. So at a certain point, I had to decide that I'm just going to get this on and correct it with filing. So that's what you're going to see here. I'm going to jump back on if I see anything specific I need to tell you guys about, because this was just really difficult. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention is she is coming back in a couple of days. We're going to take this all the way off. She's changing her shape to coffin, which I cannot tell you how grateful I am about that. When she messaged me that, I was so thankful, because even though they're going to be short, it's just such an easier shape. This is, I mean, torture is the only word I can think of. I hate doing this shape. Sometimes it's easy, but usually it isn't. And I've mentioned it before in other Watch Me Works, but every time you take the nature of this shape is you can't have any acrylic on the sidewalls, or else it will just look terrible. But there has to be acrylic there, right? So as soon as you take your file there to do any shaping, the first stroke of your file is going to take that thin layer of acrylic off, but you have to shape. So it's just awful. I'm really, really glad that she's finally going to change her shape. But you see this on the edges here, how now all of that's gone because I'm trying to keep my shape. Now I have to put it back. So I did decide while doing this set, and you can also see how fast this is drying, I did also decide that the next time I have clients, I'm not planning them at 4 or 5 in the afternoon when it's the hottest part of the day. I'm going to turn my AC on in the morning, get the room cooled down, and not take clients until 7 or 8 at night when there just is no sun. We do have like a 30-degree temperature drop when the sun goes down, so I'm just not going to try to combat that anymore, much less the sweating during filing. If you guys do nails, you know, even if your room's not hot, I don't know about you, but as soon as I start filing, I just start sweating. So add to that product not working correctly and the room being hot and everything. Just no. This was just no. I'd rather not. If she asked me today, can you see me at 4 o'clock and do a black and red set on this shape? I would say no. No, sorry, I can't do it. I really wouldn't, but oh my God, it was terrible. So I started trying to work with wetter beads, and that was just making a mess. Just nothing worked. So I just finally decided I'm just going to get the acrylic on, and I'm going to paint with black polish to fix anything that I didn't get, any of these edges that come off, any of the little cuticle areas that I just couldn't get acrylic in without flooding and staining her skin, like right there. See that? Now I have to fix it. It was constant on every nail. On the red nails where I put the chrome foil on this hand, on the ring finger, it immediately gets too thick. So I know I'm going to have to file it down. So I just start doing layers of colors so that when I do file the marble down, there will still be marble there, if that makes sense. And then I end up just adding the foil back on and covering it with top coat. So this is the nail I'm talking about. This was the first marble I was going to do, and she did, again, like I said, let me know she wanted more black than red, just a little red threaded through, but that just wasn't possible. The red was just completely, the black was just completely covering the red. As you can see here, you just can't even see the red, hardly. So I had to add more, and you see that's already dry, right? I haven't even blended that bead and it's dry. The top black one, I just put this red on. So I just decide at a certain point to just make do. Get some acrylic on, I'll shape it and file it and fix it at the end. So I'm gonna let you guys watch, and I'll jump in if I see anything I need to tell you. Okay, and so what I'm putting on here is that foil that I've mentioned before on my other channels. It's a little 6-pack of different colored foils I ordered from Nails by Dev. It's my favorite foil. It's like already pulled apart, and it's really like fine, and if you lay it down, it immediately like goes flat on the nail, so it's just really, really easy to work with. And I do show it later in the video. Also, do you see how I'm trying to push this into the cuticle, but it's drying, so I can't? Yeah, that's how hot it was. Just saying. A couple other things. The sound you hear in the background of my video is, I have the misters on. I'm sitting outside, so that's that sound. Also, I'm using black acrylic from Not Polish, and the red I'm using is Chisel. The Chisel brand, which you can see is amazing. Doesn't marble. It works just like Not Polish. It's like my second favorite brand. So if anyone wants to know what color that is, you can just leave me a comment and I'll let you know. See now I have this no acrylic there. Now I have to get acrylic there and try not to get it on her skin. It's just, yeah, this was torture. I put on my community tab, you guys want me to post this because it is teachable. You guys can see that even if things are, look, right now, you guys look at that ring finger that's dangling down there. Do you see the lumpiness? But I ended up making that work because, I don't think it was that finger that I made work. That one I ended up filing the heck out of and fixing, as well as the middle finger right there, because that was only the second and third nails I did, and they were just hardening up too much on me, so I just didn't realize how fast they were going to dry. So, and I ended up capping them, and I'm like, why'd you cap them in clear when you're going to file them down? So yeah, it was just a mess, but again, teachable moment. Everything does end up okay. So do you guys see, before I can even pat this acrylic in place or start to blend, that the top of the bead is already dry? So again, I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to show you guys how drastically different acrylic performs in temperature changes. If your room isn't 72 to 74 degrees, it's gonna dry fast. If it's colder than that, it's gonna be runny. I never knew that when I first started teaching myself acrylic in the summer in Arizona outside, so you can imagine what a mess that was. I literally thought that I was never going to get it and that I just couldn't do acrylic because it was just hardening up on me instantly. Also, the reason that I didn't show the removal and I just started straight in with the acrylic on this is because I have shown removal multiple times in my other videos, and that's how I usually start, because that's how the set usually starts. Most of my clients, especially Kendra, get a full design change each time they come. It's almost never that we build on the same color acrylic that she had before. Like when she comes in for her next set, I did let you know already that thankfully she will be changing to Coffin. So we're going to be, and if you had watched 2 sets before, her left hand has all natural nail length and her right hand has all tips. So she did decide not to have the overlay on the other hand. So we're just gonna take these completely off, trim her nails all the way down and start fresh. And she's gonna get pink coffins, which when I got that message, I was so thankful. So I can't remember what I started coming on here to say. Let me see. Okay, yeah, the reason why I didn't show any removal or prep is because that's on my channel a lot. And if you want to see any of that, you can go back to any of the other Watch Me Works. I usually keep that in. This video I did keep in the filing because it was definitely pertinent, because it shows you how I correct this mess. And maybe you guys might be looking at this thinking this isn't such a mess, but for me it was torture. This application was very difficult to do. I had to go really slow. The application is in real time for you, but I do speed it up when I get to the next steps. I don't know if you guys noticed this about Kendra, but I've let you guys know before that she loves to do her own nails. She doesn't know how to do acrylic or gel nails or anything, but she loves to polish her nails. And before she started coming to see me, she always used to keep her nails natural length. And she has a bunch of nail polishes at home, and she just likes to polish nails, other people's nails, her nails. She's an artist, so she likes to do little drawings on her nails and stuff. So she's always loved having her nails done. So although she doesn't want to learn acrylic, she loves the process. She loves the smell of monomer like me, and she loves getting her nails done. So I don't know if you guys notice or not, but start paying attention in every video where I'm working on Kendra. The second I release her finger to like move my brush or get a bead, there goes her finger where she's looking at it. So every time between every step, she's looking at her hands. So you guys start noticing that, because that's funny. Just saying. Okay, another reason this is maybe a teachable moment is because I think maybe if you guys have been watching, you probably noticed it's been very hard for me to get acrylic into the cuticles, because the beads aren't moving. They're not working or malleable enough for me to move them into the cuticle area before they start drying. And if I put them in the cuticle area too wet, it's going to flood. So it's important to manage your client's expectations. I definitely let Kendra know this isn't going to be the best. Like, I'm sorry, I'm putting in the effort, but do you see how that bead's already dry at the top, you guys? Anyway, she knows. She's been coming to me for over a year. But let's look at the finger, the middle finger that I'm not working on. Do you see how there's no acrylic there near their cuticle? I have to fix that, either with polish or acrylic. And this is happening in every nail on every cuticle area. It's important to let your clients know, like, what expectations they should have, you know. So during the consultation, before you guys even start, and when you're talking about what you want for the set, if you already know that it's really hot in your nail room and they want really pigmented colors and they want black and red ombre, and the nail beds are tiny and the nails are really short, and you already know there's going to be a struggle, it's important for you to say that to the client, like, listen, you might want to choose a different set, or lighter colors. Maybe let's go with, you know, pink or just something else, because something really pigmented like this, every flaw is going to show, and there are going to be flaws on today's set, whereas every other time I strive for perfection, which is unrealistic, but I do strive for that. It's just going to be impossible because of these conditions. Do you see the lumpiness here? Look how pretty that nail is, you guys. Oh my gosh, I really wanted to just like wipe my table clear and like swipe all the products off to the floor, but of course, I held my shit together. But, she was fine with the way these came out. They came out as best as I think they could have for the conditions, but ugh. And so here's the last nail, and here's where I finally get it, that I should just go in wet and do the whole nail red and then feather in some black. This one came out so much better. But even going in wet, you see that it's already drying, right? I mean, I never work with beads this wet. Never. And it's just already drying. So, and then I wanted to mention that index finger that I just showed you and mentioned to you that was really lumpy. I'm going to actually leave it that way for dimension. I am going to put the chrome foil on it and cap it. And it ends up really giving it dimension and looking nice. And the other ones I kind of file down, and I do fix the cuticle area. And some of the edges, I'm going to paint some black polish around some of the missing edges that get filed off, and like feather it in with a little ombre brush. So I'll jump back on if I need to let you know anything. Another thing, and I did mention it earlier, but I am really zoomed in, and these nails are really small. You'll see, like I said, when we get to filing, it's just easier to see when I don't have gloves on, like my finger compared to her finger, and I'll bring it up and show you what I mean when we get there. But I'm really zoomed in, so it's easy for you to see every imperfection. It makes the nails look like a really strange, weird shape, and of course some of these are because they're lumpy and hard, but you can see like the thumb and pinky, they look pretty good, and this is application only. So they're just not as thick and strange looking. Like when you see her hand from a distance, you'll see that, the zooming in part is probably making them look bigger than they are, if I said that right. Now these next two nails, this middle and ring, I plan on completely debulking and filing the ever-loving you-know-what out of them. So I have no idea why I capped them. I don't know. Oh, I think I realized after I capped the middle one not to cap the next one because I think I was just in my zone. But yeah, I'm going to take down a lot of it. So I'm going to go in with my Tammy Taylor peeling stick. I have 100 grit on one side, which is the red, 180 grit on the other side, which is the blue. I do stagger the files at the end so I can get into the cuticle area if I need to. So I'm going to shape the edges, and then I'm going to go in with a medium panna bit, a medium grit panna bit. I keep my e-file on about a speed of 11 or 12 when I'm filing these, but you can see a little bit more at a distance, and with my hand, do you see how small this nail is? Like, look at my finger next to hers. My thumb nail covers her nail completely. The enhancement, like her whole length and shape and the whole nail is smaller than my natural nail. Do you see what I'm saying? So keep your eye on that as we go, and when I'm zoomed out, I'll jump back on when it's even clearer. But here we go with me taking the product right off the sides, but I don't know how else to make the shape right without doing that. It's a struggle with this shape. And again, I'll say it again, I'm so glad she's going back to Coffin. I feel like if any other clients ask me to do this shape, I won't say no, but I really want to say I don't want to do this shape anymore. I really don't want to. Guys, put in the comments if you know what I'm talking about, if you do this shape, and if you would do it on such a short length on such a small nail bed as this. It's not a question of whether I would do it or not. Kendra's been coming to me for, like I said, over a year. She comes every 3 weeks, solid. She's one of my favorite people. So I don't mean anything, like I would give her whatever nails she wanted. I'm thankful she's changing it because we've both rode this out. I mean, she's the one that sits there for hours while I struggle through these. Sometimes these take me 2 hours. Sometimes they take me 4. It depends on the conditions, actually, the conditions and the design that she wants. So anyway, I'll let you guys watch, and I am thankful that we're going to be changing shape next time. This is a Profiles Backstage Sponge Buffer. You don't want to buff your nails too well unless you're doing like nail art or something. Otherwise, your top coat is going to separate when you put it on. If that's ever happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. It just separates. It leaves like little puddles. But here's a good way for you to see. Look at my thumb compared to the nail I'm working on. My thumb will cover, and that is her extension. That's her having a nail on with length. So that's how short and tiny these really are. What was I going to say there? Oh, the Profiles Backstage Sponge Buffer is also good to get all that crap off around the skin. Okay, you guys, when I was done filing, I had her wash her hands. I cleaned her nail beds off with Swipe, and then I am going in with this black polish to fix any imperfections, and there is the foil I was letting you guys know about, so I am going to reapply it to that ring finger because a lot of it came off. After I do the fixing here, it's just top coat and cuticle oil, and then we're all done, you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and Kendra will be back in a few days for another set, and I have a client tomorrow as well, so I've got 2 more Watch Me Works on the way. You guys have a beautiful day, and thank you for being here. Bye.